Let me just highlight one or two things that I hope you can engage, deliberate upon when you start your other formal sessions. One, climate change is now a big problem globally. We have a crisis. We've just come out of the very severe drought. We know that a lot of the conflict in some of the areas that were mentioned, whether it's in Turkana or Samburu, or even at the border level between our country and other countries, the issue of fighting for resources is a challenge. And the biggest challenge we are facing is when there's serious erosion and destruction of our natural resources. So I would like you as Quakers to focus and put your footprint on this challenge around climate change. In Kenya, the government has committed that in the next 10 years, that is by 2032, we want to have planted 15 billion trees. It sounds impossible. But if every Kenyan planted just about 300 trees on an annual basis, we shall be able to achieve 15 billion trees in 10 years. So you as a Quaker, when you get home, just focus on 300 trees every year. That translates to just about 10 or so trees every month. Not bad, is it? It's doable. All right? Now, here is the other catch. As a policy decision, we are also saying that out of these 15 billion trees, we want 5 billion trees to be fruit trees. A third to be fruit trees. Your avocados, your mangoes, your guavas, oranges, apples, passion, you name it. So if we were able to have 5 billion of these 15 billion in 10 years as fruit trees, just think of the economy. How much fruit will you be able to export globally? It's amazing, isn't it? So, as Quakers, and I'm one of you, me, I've committed, I'll do my 10 every month. I hope you will do the same. So let us then develop or focus on what will be the Quaker greening strategy. Okay? The Quaker greening strategy. Then you implement it. The other point I would like to touch on as I was listening to the conversation on the podium, we have a crisis of unemployment. My fellow Quakers, we have a crisis of unemployment. There are about 7 million young men and women, capable, able, schooled, but we have a crisis. We have to figure out what we shall do as a collective to sort out some of these problems. I may not know the full curricula at the French Theological College, for instance, but I think as Quakers, we may need to double up the theological component with one or two other skills. so that that pastor, that preacher, will not just pass the word of God, but will be an extension officer on matters of economy and skilling the congregation that they go to. I would not mind if my pastor doubles up as an agricultural officer. I would not mind if my pastor doubled up as an ICT trainer. I would not mind if my pastor doubled up as a nurse. And I would not mind if my pastor also doubled up as a mechanic. So let me convey that message so that we again pull together in trying to deal with this challenge of unemployment. The other one that I'll just touch on, not very pleasant though, but in a way it dovetails into what I've talked about. We are having fake prophets. They've caused havoc globally and more recent here in Kenya. People have lost lives. People have surrendered their hard-earned wealth to people who have not worked for anything. So, where have we failed? I have no answer. Please try and seek answers to this, so that our society and our young children, because sometimes it beats logic, it defeats logic. It's very difficult to comprehend. When somebody is a professor and they actually surrender all their years of work, abandon their families, and then follow a false prophet who has not even been to class 1. It beats logic. So, where have we gone wrong as a society? I will leave that with you. It's a rhetorical question so that you can debate it. And hopefully in the resolutions that will emerge from this conference of Quakers, you will help in giving us some light and some guidance so that we can partner with you as government and help in making sure that people are not taken to the wrong path. Finally, I'll just tell you a story. I was at Namanga yesterday. Right at the border. Kenya is about 5,500 kilometers of straight line, borderline with all the countries. With Uganda, we are about 970 kilometers of borderline. Somalia is about 800 to 900. We have almost equal measure with Ethiopia and South Sudan, and also with Tanzania. Cumulatively, it's about 5,000 plus kilometers. Now, I came across Kenyans within the framework of the East African community who are actually tasked to provide boundaries and align them throughout that range. And it is quite an exercise. I asked them, to what extent do you use technology? They said, we use technology for mapping. But when it comes to going and walking these borders, we have to do it physically and put border pillars over 5,000 kilometers. But what was important was not necessarily the physical aspect of surveying and the science that goes into it. What was critical is that they were on a mission, and we were on a mission that how do we help border communities? In Kenya, the Somali community, where we border with Somalia. We have the Maasai, the Taita, the Digos, where we border with Tanzania. We have the Ugandans, we have the Pokot, the Teso, the Luya, who border on that direction. Then we have those communities of Turkana that border with South Sudan, and the communities of Marsabit that border Ethiopia. There's always conflict. And in Africa, it is recorded, according to AU, that there are about 116 conflict areas that relate to boundaries. In Kenya, East Africa, there are about, in East Africa, there are about 22. These conflicts cause refugees. In Kenya, we are having a population of refugees of about 670,000. It becomes difficult, it puts pressure on the host communities, but because we are also tied to humanitarian efforts and the global aspect, you cannot chase them away. They have to be helped, they have to be supported, they have to be fed, they have to be educated, they have to get medical care. Now, this is the challenge. This is where the Quaker must put their best foot forward, so that you can be part of the solution, part of ensuring good integration of border communities, to have them to make them become harmonious, and at the same time to help them so that we can move away from this tension. And therefore, I come back now to what I said. Can that theologian also be an agricultural extension officer? Can that theologian also be a livestock development expert, so that we can help enhance the opportunities of the people who are challenged, and in the process, we will achieve our objective as Quakers, people of Mirembe, people of peace. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my piece as a Quaker today. May God bless you all.